Are you or somebody you know stuck in the predicament with no way out?
Did you cheat on your girlfriend and don't know what to do about it?
Well, you're in luck, buddy pal, because you can call the Shitty Advice hotline and talk to the hotline voicemail because I don't actually answer it. But I will play it on an upcoming episode of the podcast.
And he'll give you his best advice.
Shitty Advice with Shiddy Bill.
At 615-680-9453.
That's 615-680-9453. If you need shitty advice,
Call
call.
Shiddy Bill.
That's right. Bye. Well, hello there. Welcome to another Shitty Day podcast. And today, I'm here to tell you about the downfall of my ball bag. That's right, I said it. You know, sometimes I make terrible life choices. Sometimes I make very, very bad decisions. But at the end of the day, I'm a lover. And I love a little too hard. And I love a little too fast. And that is how I ended up in the absolute worst situation I've ever found myself being in. And at the end of the day, it's costed a lot of money to get it situated, a lot of pain and agony, and a lot of itching. It goes a little something like this. I have a buddy. His name is Cody Shane, and he's getting into the cigarette business. And he paid me a good chunk of monies to to get in his rig and to go pick up a shipment all the way in Canada. And I need the money. And he paid me really well. So I agreed to it. And I don't exactly have my CBL, CDL, but I knows what I'm doing. 10 for you. Hear me, good buddy? And so he made me a little fake card license thing, and I stuck it in my wallet. And I went home and I started packing my bags and getting myself together for my morning. So I get in the rig and I proceed to my next stop, Canada. Oh Canada, oh Canada. You know how that goes. Good folks there, good syrup, lots of hockey. I tried to be a professional hockey player whenever I was younger, and they said that I was just too damn good to play, so they didn't ever let me go take my future any further. So that's on them because I'd have took hockey to a whole nother level, I believe. Anyways, though, I start down the road and it's going good. It's normal. I'm in the left lane pretty much the whole time because people kept honking at me, and I just assumed that meant that I was doing a good job and they wanted me right there. I felt like a leader. And the whole day I spent on my phone. Whenever I had downtime, I'd look down real quick at my phone. Just gave me one of these because I was supposed to be getting a call or a text from Pawpaw to let me know whenever cousin Kyle gets out of jail because he owes me $50 and I'm trying to collect before he runs away again. So, but I ain't hear nothing. I ain't hear nothing. Not for the whole rest of the day, just about. And I started getting a little bit tired. So I stopped at a rest stop and went and went into the sip and go, and I got me a bag of chips and one of them taquita gas station rollers, and got me one of the big gulps and a tall boy, and I took it out to the truck, and I put me something on the phone to watch, is like a little TV, kind of thing, just to kill some time. I was getting a little bit tired, and I knew I needed to be going to sleep soon if I'm going to make it to Canada tomorrow, and or the next few days. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. So I started to think, you know what? If I want to impress these Canadians, and I need to smell good so that they'll potentially give me another chance to come back up there for them and to bring stuff from them to America. And so I need to smell good. I need to go take me a shower in the truck stop. And I went inside, and you can't just go in right away. You gotta give them your name and they'll give you a number and they'll call it whenever the shower's ready for you because there's plenty of other truckers there and you can't just go in. You gotta wait your turn. So I go in, I give the guy my name, and he gives me a number, and I start looking around the little store they got set up and looking at the different hats and the different shirts, and I was gonna pick me up a few souvenirs for Mama, and because she ought to be proud of this one. And I went to the register and I paid, put it in my pocket and just waiting around. And about 30 minutes later, they call on the intercom and they say, "Shiddy Bill, number 35, your shower's ready." So I went and got me a shower, and that's where the story ends. I mean, nothing else to it. I got in the shower, took the shower, finished the shower, got out. I smelled good. I was clean, and the Canadians should be happy about that. So I went and got my clothes together and put on some new drawers and changed my socks and brushed my teeth, put on the deodorant, and was going to go back out to the truck and hit the head and call it a night. And I get out there and I see the most drop dead, beautiful bombshell of a woman I've ever seen in my life. I mean, she easily weighed my size or more. And she's wearing fishnets and high heels and had ruby red lipstick and bright blue eyes. And her hair was all just crazy looking. And my heart started skipping beats. And I knew it's probably just my cholesterol acted up, but I was like, you know, sometimes I confuse that with love. It happens. So I just didn't have the courage to talk to her. She was so beautiful. And walking by her, all I could smell was I could smell the tequila on her, and she smelled like tequila and bacon grease and flowers. So it's an interesting combination, but that's a smell I'll never forget. I swear. Once you smell it, it's permanently embedded in your brain, and that's a guarantee. So I get all the way to my truck and I'm getting ready to get in, and she goes, "Hey, baby, you want to take me on inside your truck and give me a tour?" I was like, "You want to see the inside of this piece of crap?" And she goes, "Yes, sir." She goes, "You got a bed in there? I'm really tired. I could use a nap." I was like, and a light bulb went up above my head, and I was like, I know what she's trying to do. So I took her inside my truck, or inside Cody's truck, I guess, my truck, Cody's truck, whatever. Uh, and I show her the two seats up front in the little hallway area with the trash and my clothes, and I show her the bed, nothing else to it, and she pushes me down on the bed. She takes off all my clothes and starts swirling my underwears in the air for some reason. It was a kinky little thing, and she starts climbing me like a tree, boy. I tell you, it was the damnedest thing. She's doing things to make my toe curls and my butthole pucker just a little bit. And I knew right then and there I loved that woman. I didn't even get her name. I loved her so much. I looked at her and I said, "Babe, I never even got your name." She said, "Is that really important?" And I said, "Well, wouldn't you like to know my name?" And she said, "Yeah, yeah, go ahead, tell me your name." And I said, "Well, I'm Shiddy Bill from over yonder in Spring City." And she said, "Well, I'm Double White Deborah from West Virginia." I'm like, "Oh, okay." She goes, "And I just want to tell you that you were the best damn lover I've ever been with in my life." Well, I appreciate that, but I already know that because every woman that I've ever been with tells me that. And I couldn't hold it anymore. I did the unthinkable. I said, "Miss Double White Deborah, will you do me the honor of being my wife? Will you marry me and come go to Canada with me to collect this order and then come back and us get married at the courthouse in Spring City?" And she said absolutely she would marry me. That she knew she was going to marry me right away when she saw me walking out of that gas station because my mullet was flying in the air. My curls were all locked and tight, and I smelled like gas station hot dogs and tall boys. The cologne of a trucker. Well, I told Miss Deborah, I said, "Baby, we got to get to go to bed early because we got to be up at 4:30 because we got to get to Canada tomorrow night." She said, "Okay, let's go to bed then." So I laid down. And she starts. She says she's asleep first and fast too. And let me tell you, I snore, but she sounded like a damn grizzly bear. She sounded like Sasquatch running a marathon and was out of breath. And I don't know, like a chainsaw or something. But it was so peaceful to me. I fell right to sleep. Well, a few hours later, I started feeling like something was moving, like somebody was going through my truck, and I didn't think anything of it because Double White Deborah, beautiful woman, um, but I know she was just probably trying to do the womanly thing. She fulfilled my needs, and now she's cleaning up, and she's probably getting ready to cook me breakfast outside and on the grill. And beautiful thing. So I just smiled a little bit and went back to sleep, and I felt like a real king. Well, a few hours later, I woke up, and Double Wide Deborah is nowhere to be found. And I started calling for her, and I didn't hear nothing. And I went outside and I looked around and didn't see her, didn't hear her. So clearly, she's got to be in the truck stop, right? Wrong. I went inside and I started looking for her, and she's not there. So I asked the cashier man, I said, "Hey, you seen that beautiful thing that was walking around here and the curly hair and the fishnets?" He said, "You mean Double White Deborah?" I said, "Yeah, that's the one." And he said, "Yeah, she got in the truck with some man and took off down yonder a couple hours ago." I was like, "Okay, I mean, damn. I know I'm ugly, but ugly enough to back out of marrying me right away? I mean, that's crazy." So I felt a little bad, and I was like, "You know what? She's probably coming back. She's probably just going up the road to get her things, and she was coming back to the truck." I went to grab me a big gulp, and I filled it up with Mountain Lion, and I took it to the cashier man, and I tried to pay for it, but my wallet's gone. I mean, I'm looking everywhere. no wallet to be found. And he said, "Hey, this one's on me, big guy, 'cause you gonna need something to make you feel better after what you're about to go through." And I had no idea what he meant. I'm like, "Excuse me," and he goes, "No, no, nothing. Just have a good day." And I said, "Okay." So I went out to the truck and I looked around, and my wallet was nowhere to be found. And so I went out into the parking lot, and I saw a trucker out there. There's a few of them sitting around. I said, "Hey, has anybody seen a brown wallet laying around anywhere? Might have dropped it because I can't seem to find mine, and I really need it. I need to get to Canada." And they said, "No, I was about to ask you the same thing if you'd seen a black wallet laying around anywhere." And then we said we both seen another guy walking up to his truck, and we both were going to ask him, "Hey, have you seen a couple of wallets laying around?" And he cut us off and goes, "Nope. I was going to ask y'all the same thing. I was with a little lady last night, and I think she might have robbed me." And we all looked at each other. And I swear this gentleman took the words right out of my mouth. He goes, "Double wide Deborah, she strikes again." I'm like, "She does this often? I mean, sweet little thing robbed us. She canoodled us, got us to sleep, stole our wallets, and dipped out, left us high and dry. And I'm screwed. I filled up the gas tank, and I can make it a little ways, a couple hours, but after that, no money." So I got in the truck because what else am I gonna do? I stopped and I got me a bite to eat, and then I kept going because I had just enough money left on my gift card for the Mickey D's, and started going up the road. And I got a text from Pawpaw, and it said that cousin Kyle was getting released today, and that if I was anywhere near him, I'm sure he could use a ride. And well, it just so happens I was passing through right around the time that he was getting out of the jail he was in, and I will not say where it was at to protect his privacy. So I go to the jail, and I ask the guard for him. And as soon as I said cousin Kyle, he gives me this look like he had seen some things from this man. And cousin Kyle comes walking out of the jail, smiling, and I yelled his name. He goes, "Bill, what are you doing down here?" And I said, "Well, I'm off to grab a shipment from Canada, and then I'm coming back home. And I got a text from Papa saying that you were here and that you were getting out today, and I was wanting to see if you needed a ride." He goes, "Yeah, hell yeah, I need a ride." I said, "You got that $50? Cause I got robbed last night, and I got no way to get to Canada and back home." And he goes, "Well, Papa gave me a couple $100 the other day before I went in and did my time." And I said, "Okay, hell yeah." Well, we stopped and got us a couple tall boys because he ain't had one in 2 months and he needed to fixing. And well, that's when I started noticing a blazing, fiery, uncomfortable sensation going on in my downstairs. My boys were on fire, and I don't know why. So I aimed the little air conditioner right at it, and of course, cousin Kyle's acting a fool, talking about how he smells baloney now that I've aimed it at my crotch because he thinks he's funny. And then my balls started itching to high heavens, and I'm itching and scratching, and I'm like really getting in there. And he goes, "You ought to go in somewhere and check on yourself, 'cause that don't seem right. Like you might need to go get checked out." So we pulled over, and I went into the gas station. I got out and I went in, and you will not believe what I'm about to tell you. I looked at my boys, and I had Bugs all over my nugs. I'm talking, there was fleas everywhere. And that is when I discovered that double wide Deborah gave me fleas on my balls. I was ashamed for letting it happen. Like, how am I going to explain this to people? But I had to because you this is not the first time that this has happened. I mean, people go through things like this all the time. So I did what any man would do, and I called Earl Jr. I said, Earl, you're never going to believe this. I was at the truck stop last night, and I met this woman. We was going to get married. We fell in love quick. We hit it off. We did the dirty. And this morning I woke up, and I got fleas all over my testes. That 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 lady got me marked. I mean, bugs all over my privates. And he said, calm down, calm down. I've been in this predicament myself. Now, what you need to do is you need to go inside somewhere into a store and buy you a big old bottle of vinegar. You need to take it and you need to pour it all over your testes, all over your balls, and drive on to Canada, do your thing, and you'll be fine. Because it needs a couple hours to sit. So, go inside and I grab me some vinegar and I lather my boys in vinegar. And I get back inside and cousin Kyle's wanting to talk about how my my balls smell like a pickle factory. He kept calling me douche canoe for some reason. I have no idea why. But we made it to Canada and I got my shipment and we get back in the car and I'm just a burning. I'm just a burning and itching and we eventually made it back yonder to America to Spring City and this is where it gets a little bit violent. Um, my butthole started itching and burning, and I had to go look in the mirror, and I spread that thing, and I looked, and it was, I mean, it was fire truck red. It was blistered, and it was swollen, and it looked like it had been blown out, but it most definitely has not. Before you creeps start saying stuff like that. I had a rash worse than I've ever had anywhere in my life on my beehole. And I ain't joking when I tell you, when I got to Mama's house, I took my britches off and started dog scooting my ass across her rug. Ain't nothing could cure the itch, nothing could cure the burn. And finally, Mama told me I had to go soak in the tub. She filled it up with milk and made me sit in a bathtub full of milk for a whole hour, trying to make my beehole burn a little less. It's embarrassing. But the moral of the story is don't fall in love so quick and don't pick up truck stop queens or lot lizards or women of the night or anybody from Chickamauga, Georgia, unless you want your boys to catch fleas and then you catch a rash on your beehole. Don't do it. Take advice from your favorite uncle, Shiddy Bill. Stay away from them unless you know for sure you're going to marry him. and that's different. I had to go to the doctors. The doctors gave me a bunch of butt ointments. They gave me some shampoo for my balls, and cost me a couple $100 because they insisted that I needed special kind of shampoo for my digits, and it was a nightmare. I mean, I've had a lot of bad ideas in my life, and picking up women at a truck stop is right up there at towards the top of the list. But I reckon it happens to the best of them. If it happens to me, it can happen to you. I do have some interesting news for you before we finish out this podcast. In a couple of weeks, it's going to be time to take these old rags and that old sign and this microphone down and box it up. It's been fun. We've got through a good bit of episodes now, and we still have more coming out that are unreleased. But unfortunately, it has come to an end. It has come to an end in Mama's trailer. Because that's right, your boy, Shiddy Bill, has bought himself a trailer. And he's moving. He's moving out. And he don't even need the good towels because somebody gave him some new ones. And I'm going to be putting out probably just some content videos that are not related to this podcast. It'll just be Shitty Bill being Shitty Bill. Maybe Earl Jr. will be there. Um, until we get the new podcast room built and set up. And it's probably going to look a little bit different, but different is not bad. Different is good. And I'd love to take you guys along for the ride. So, yeah, going to be different. I'm going to be doing some reviews on different things. Earl Jr. is going to be doing a cooking show, and I'm going to help him out with that. Um, Probably do some outside content, and just giving y'all the best version of Shitty Bill that I can possibly give you. And with that, I reckon it is time to end the podcast, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Um, Share this with somebody. And remember, if you are having a shitty day, at least we're having a shitty day together. I love you. Have a good day. Well, hello there. My name is Tucker Wayne, the brother of Earl Jr. I'm the much more successful one, if you haven't noticed already. By the way, did I happen to mention that I am the greatest male model who ever existed? And Earl Jr. and Shitty Bill have been begging me to be on their disgusting trailer trash podcast, Another Shitty Day. Well, I guess it's time to potentially add class to this nasty, disgusting podcast.